Good morning. Happy Friday. You made it through the work week almost. You'll get there. Hang in there. And congratulations. You've made it through 100% of your worst days. So you did it. You're doing it. And if you are like me, maybe you are working a job that is unfulfilling. You don't love it all. It is soul stealing. And I understand you. And I'm going through the same thing. Again, it pays the bills, but not what I ultimately want to be doing. So I feel you, I get you, and I want to encourage you to keep going. One thing I want to talk about today, by the way, this is quick tip number 13 and from Uncle Paul, and the title is Ego Death. What I want to talk to you about today is listening to the Joe Rogan Experience Podcast, and he was talking to a psychiatrist, and obviously various people came up that are in the media, and Joe Rogan mentioned something in passing about MMA ultimate fighters, about guys who have really big egos, and sometimes they'll go in and they will, they win a lot and they just dominate, but then they get that one knockout. And Joe Rogan referred to it as ego death. And they're just never the same afterwards. And so I want to encourage you on to do something purposefully, and that is to uh, initiate your own ego death when it comes to work. And what I mean by that is it takes some courage to make sure that people get credit where it's due. And that means you putting yourself out there to make sure that people on your team that either work with you, work for you, and even people who you report to that may be in leadership, even director level, take that chance, put your ego to death, and encourage them, drop them a note, let their bosses know they're doing a good job. It's something I always strive to do when I'm working on, various projects and teams, is making sure that when people do a good job, that their superiors know about it. And I don't CC them on it either. I just send it directly over. Sometimes I will CC, but a lot of times I just don't. And then I'll forward it afterwards, because I want them to know that it's being said about them, but I also don't want them to feel uncomfortable or awkward, but it takes trust and it takes confidence to do that consistently and do a good job in that. But what it does is it builds loyalty. People I've seen it happen on very tough projects that I've been thrown into and been asked to lead and turn around. There's this air and backbiting and backstabbing and nitpicking about every little thing. And as I've tried to be purposeful about initiating positive feedback, and when people do a good job on things, I've slowly seen the attitudes from top to bottom change, and other people start doing it, because again, I think that they see that they know that they're going to get the credit that they've worked hard for, and they're not going to be thrown under the bus. So it may be hard, but you should be the one initiating that. If you can do that at all, and again, it makes other people's day better, and it'll ultimately come back around and change things. I think you'd be shocked in terms of how much this might change your working dynamic. Just that one little thing may not change everything. You may still not be satisfied in your job, but I want to encourage you to consider that. The other thing is, if you're struggling and going to a job that you just don't enjoy necessarily personalities all around, find that one or person or two people that, in your day that you look forward to interacting with, and let that be kind of a reward to you. My most recent engagement, my reward person was a guy named Brian, and he actually was the sanitation engineer. He's the janitor. And Brian and I got to know each other every day. I'd either see him getting something at lunch. We kind of ate, around the same time, or I'd see him just in passing in the hallway, and we'd chit chat about how bad the Lions are doing, or the Pistons, or the Tigers, or the Red Wings. Anyway, about how bad Detroit sports are at the current state. Talk about a family and friends. And Brian's a good dude, man. I really enjoyed talking to him, and he was my bright spot, during my time there. And I look forward to that. And it was always, I always walked away from him, and I had a smile on my face. And so he impacted me positively. And I realized also we're both in the sanitation business, but his his crap that he dealt with, I don't think caused as much headache as mine. So, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, just want to encourage you all on a Friday. You can get through it. Try and encourage other people. And again, put that ego to death, and put yourself out there. make sure that you give people credit. And don't worry about the people who take credit. Don't worry about that person that will, is trying to step over you. Don't worry about any of that. Just take care of your business and then also be an encouragement. So that's it. Again, this is quick tip number 13 from your Uncle Paul, ego death. Have a good Friday and good weekend.